Okay, it is 10 o'clock and we will call to order the August 4th administrative meeting of the Houston County Commission. Glad you all should be here this morning. We have a relatively brief agenda, so we shouldn't be here too terribly long. Any announcements anyone has this morning? Think of anything other than I will say schools are shortly this week and next week going back into session, so encourage everyone that we've all gotten used to school zones not being school zones, and now they're fixing to be school zones again. So encourage you to be safe and around schools and watch out for children and whatnot. All those kind of school activities will be gearing up. Just be cognizant of that. Any other announcements?
Say briefly, I just returned from the NACO conference, and I've been to several of those. I don't go to all of those, but several of them years. This was one of the better ones I've been to, except for the food. If I had to rate it by food, this would be the worst conference I've ever been to. But information-wise, just regarding the food, was actually pretty good. And so figured out some ways that we can spend our ARPA funds. Things that kind of need to spend right away. So,
Too much. They're all pretty committed.
yeah,
Yeah, I know you have got a couple of good things. That's good.
It was good. Hopefully we can a few more people. I think there's a lot of vendors out there that I enjoyed talking to, and I felt like they could bring a lot of value to the county, but I didn't feel like I was the best person to kind of talk, and so I'm hoping we can get some of those folks.
Where is it?
Awesome.
Hmm.
So really,
I might need to go too.
yeah. They've been awesome, but anyway.
I have. Be sure you check out the bat under the bridge.
All right. Put that on our list.
Just talking about the Bridge Street. Yeah. At the right time of year. I don't know what time of year it is. But anyway, we digress. Other announcements. Yeah, there is a drill going on this morning. I don't know all the details over in Ashford. That's a practice drill of evacuating school. Obviously not real, but they're practicing in case it could be real. So that's why Chris is not here for the item on the agenda, which is the first item we'll get to. But as y'all know, they do these kind of things often, and that's why they're so good at it. So we appreciate everybody involved in that. I think it's pretty intensive. The sheriff's department's involved, and all the police and EMA and others. So that's going on this morning. All right, under awards and presentations, we will once again try to recognize the Queens on Monday. Hopefully they're all well and be here this time. We'll have fun with that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Queens we will recognize, all different parts of the county, and look forward to that. It's always a fun meeting. With no objection to adding that to the agenda. All right, on the regular agenda, the first item is a request to approve pass-through grant for Alabama Department of Public Health Strategic National Stockpile Program and the accompanying budget amendment. As I said, Chris is not here to discuss that. He will Monday. This is a normal annual grant that we get, that we approve, and you have the information in your packet. It's an $11,000 grant. As I said, it's a normal thing we do every year. So any objections to adding that to the agenda? All right. Item number 2 is a request to reappoint press register to the board of the Cooperative District of Southeast Alabama. That is the cooperative district that was set up out at ACOM. They set up a cooperative district to basically establish rules and allow them to do some things around ACOM that you can't normally do and just everywhere else in the community. That's been done in several places in town. And Press was asked to be on that board early on with his expertise and has served well. So the request is that term is running out. The request is just to reappoint him. Any objections to adding that? Okay. Number 3 is request to repeal existing policy number 54 and replace with updated policy regarding federal funding. I'm going to defer to Peter.
Thank you, Chairman. Gentlemen, you may recall I've mentioned in the past that there are some updates to the policies and procedures guidelines applicable to federal awards. In the past, the Commission has adopted policy number 54, which governs these sorts of funds. In light of the ARPA distribution, the U.S. Treasury has updated their CFR 200 for the applicable guidelines for policies and procedures. And this is just to come concert with that with the Commission. These policies and procedures have been included in all of the communications with subrecipients, so that they're aware of them. This is just adopting it to a standard policy for the Commission.
So we've been using these guidelines, policies, if you will, with the subrecipients of the ARPA funds, even though we haven't adopted them yet. And so what we're doing Monday theoretically is actually adopting them so that they will be a policy. Sort of.
The Commission did adopt these policies for the ARPA program. Now you're adopting the policies for general
Gotcha.
government funding purposes.
Gotcha. Okay. Are there any, but I shouldn't ask this, but
Like
Are
the
there-
CEPA funds. And
I'm sorry?
like the CEPA funds, those the grants. that come
Right.
through. They
But
just
other
have-
federal funds
That's
besides the ARPA funds, yeah. Are there any major differences? I mean, I'm sure there's something, obviously, or the federal government surely wouldn't ask you to change this and go through this procedure, but are there any major differences that you can point to, or is it just terminology and?
It's just terminology. There are some updated policy guidelines for disadvantaged businesses. And there are other guidelines that are specific to monitoring of the expenditures, but nothing significant or dramatic.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Peter regarding that? Any objection to adding that to the agenda? No objection. All right. Item number 4 is request to approve resolution to apply for a change in the highway functional classification of sanitary dairy road from unclassified to rural minor collector. Engineer, you want to tell us what that means to us?
This would make sanitary dairy road eligible for MPO funds, Metropolitan Planning Organization funds that we get, us and the city gets. So we could apply for this road to be paid under that, and get 70 or 80% paid for it. So
This is one of those roads that we're probably going to hear Monday needs to be resurfaced, I would think.
yes,
And by doing this, we won't have to use theoretically, we won't have to use our rebuild or regular funds. We can apply to the MPO. Okay, that makes sense.
just trying to make them go for it.
Yep, I got it. Any questions regarding that?
Questions?
Yes, sir.
So there's no theoretical limit to the number of miles, the number of roads that can be in an MPO. This is just, we think that this meets the requirements for being an MPO eligible road.
There's not a limit. They just have to be classified and meet certain requirements that the state sets.
Good.
But there is just a certain area the MPOs need to do that. And if they're not in that area, they're not what they're not.
Any other questions? Objection to adding that to the agenda? Okay. Number 5, request to approve Rebuild Alabama 2023 County Transportation Plan. That will be a presentation by Engineer Kirkland at Monday's meeting, as required by law.
Yes.
All right. Anything else from the commission to be considered for Monday's meeting? All right, y'all were good today. I appreciate it. Harvey, you're not invited back. Oh, I'm sorry. Harvey had a death in the family. That is why he's not. I'll keep him and his family in your prayers. We appreciate it, and we stand adjourned, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you. Bills.